Good morning. This is day 86 on my hike across the western United States Pacific Crest Trail, where I started in Mexico and I'll finish, I started the border, the U.S. border of Mexico, and I'll finish at the U.S.-Canadian border. I'm just getting started. It's a little before 10 a.m. when it was very shaken up yesterday after having too much of that Mio drink enhancer and probably not enough regular water and hydration. It kind of ended up feeling like I was on drugs, and it was pretty awful. Felt like I had drank 5 or 6 cups of coffee. I'm hypersensitive to caffeine. I don't drink it. And basically, it was exhausting, mentally, physically, spiritually. Even though I did 29 miles, I got to camp. I really couldn't sleep. I still could probably physically feel the effects of it. And so I woke up at 5. I finally fell asleep probably, got maybe an hour or two. Woke up at 5, started packing up, and I just felt awful. And after having hiked 55 miles in the last 2 days, which were both record days for me, but sequentially, I decided it would be smart to still rest. So I went to bed probably from 6:30 to maybe 8:45. So all in all, probably only got 3 to 4 hours of broken sleep, and most of that came in the morning when I should have been up moving. So in a way, I feel like all that extra progress gained the last 2 days by pushing hard, doing 26 miles and 29 miles, was kind of wiped away. And it's very frustrating because I was having a strong couple weeks. So I'm definitely avoiding that Mio stuff. And today I'm going to take it a little bit easier. I've got 38 miles to get to Sierra City. So I want to get at least over 20 today, hopefully probably closer to 25. And that'll leave me a nice setup for tomorrow to have sort of a half day and then get into town and resupply and do all the chores and hopefully be able to get back on trail late at night or super early in the morning. So I'll see you all down the line. I'm gonna flip the camera here. It's very pretty. Wow, how picturesque walking through here. I suppose it's kind of always the case, but the dichotomy between how this forest kind of looked late last night after dusk and now is quite stark. I think even though it's pretty quiet, I did hear a few people go by this morning, and it just seems a little prettier in the daytime, whereas last night just a lot of these downed logs. So example, this one, best case probably go around. It's clear a lot of people did, but kind of steep here. I guess it's kind of always the case, but yesterday was just really eerie for walking 8 miles without seeing another tent or hiker, thru-hiker. And then it was really dark last night. The moon illumination was only at 1%. So it's very, very, very dark, a little cold. So I'm feeling a little better seeing the sunlight on this area, but definitely ready to get moving. There's a hut maintained by the Sierra Club called the Peter Grubb Hut that I think you can rent to stay in, but just bathrooms up there. But there it is, PCT North, Sierra City. About 37 miles to get there. Just finished pretty steep incline to start the day. My body is hurting in 3-4 places, but I'm not going to even mention them yet because it's so early. Hopefully they're just warming up and it'll go away. But I'm at the point right now where every step is hurting in a way it wasn't the last 2 days for the most part. And I'll just say my right plantar fascia, which was hurting 3 days ago, every day, every step. So I really hope this warms up. Cabin mentioned earlier is in the woods there. but I won't be stopping. Beautiful, beautiful meadow. Still some snow up there. Did about a 500 or 600 foot climb up immediately after starting the day. Then came down about half that or so. And I'm gonna go up another 500 to get to a peak of sorts. Stopping to get some water. Literally like dripping sweat. It's not even that hot out, but this is another kind of steep incline. What? PF Chang's. Craving chicken fried rice and sesame chicken or orange chicken from PF Chang's. That'd be so good right now. Well, I took my phone out to share something and a bug flew right into the corner of my eye. So annoying. Now I'm craving a Whopper from Burger King. I also don't eat there. Couldn't tell you the last time I ate there. Smelled something immediately, so specific. Boom, Whopper from Burger King. Working on another 500-mile climb. Looks like there's gonna be a lot of these up and down today, about in that range. Just stop for a second to capture this view. About a week and a half ago, I took a lunch break and I saw a beautiful blue jay feather, or I guess it's a blue jay, whatever kind of bluebird, next to where it was. So I ended up sticking it in my pack, and then I found someone gave me another one. They eventually got kind of bent up and I had to take them out, or they fell out, but I keep seeing these, so I'm gonna grab them when I see them and add them in. I had one this morning, actually. It looks like it fell out already. It was one with blue, or white and black polka dots, so I just kind of stick it in there. I am craving a third thing today. I don't ever think there's been two in a row in a day, let alone three, but a croissant, a nice, freshly baked, perfectly buttery croissant, maybe with some ham and cheese in there. I'll tell you what I'm not craving, and that's what I had for lunch, which last 3 days I had salami and cheddar cheese and tortillas, which is about as close as you can get to some fresh food out here, and it's certainly not what I would call fresh food. But what I have today and tomorrow is processed fish, a lot of tuna packets. That's for tomorrow. Today I carried the weight of 2 tin containers that have mackerel and olive oil, which usually I look forward to, but right now, especially after what happened yesterday, just not really interested in that. But that means I gotta keep working harder. So I'm so hungry that I'm craving anything. That's usually what I do most days. When I'm not looking forward to what I have to eat, I just push myself until I'm so hungry that I am. I am hurting in a lot of places, but I'm trying to stay positive. I'm definitely a little irritable. Barely slept last night. It was an awful, awful night. And coming off of that horrible experience of, I guess basically, I'm hypersensitive to stuff. Like I would have like basically a couple sips of coffee, and it would sometimes keep me up at night. And I'm not embellishing at all. Like in the afternoon when I was at work, like that's how sensitive I am to stimulants. And whatever crap they put in this Mio Energy one, I mean, wow. But yeah, really feeling irritable, kind of combined from not sleeping and coming off of that experience still. But trying to stay positive. Got pain in my right shin. I had pain under both my plantar fascia for a while. Those have subsided at the moment. My left knee's been flaring in and out. At the moment, my glutes and sciatic nerves aren't being too bad. But I mean, it is literally always something every day. The whack-a-mole of pain, as I call it. I've been out here for 3 hours now today. I literally have only seen one person. He walked by me. I was going uphill and he didn't really get out of my way until like the last second. When you're hiking, going uphill has the right of way. So it's basic hiker etiquette. You should kind of know that when you're out here. Anyways, that was the only person I saw. Have not seen a soul besides that. I heard a few people walk by my tent this morning, but it has been so quiet and desolate, which is largely a continuation of yesterday evening, which is odd. I know one of the guys that I was with in Tahoe finished 10 miles behind me yesterday. I think he was the closest to me, but then I got a super late start, so I thought maybe there's a chance I'll see him, but at this point he would have done 18 miles on the day already, and I think you'd need a break at some point there, so I haven't seen him. But it's kind of crazy how crowded it was just 2 days ago, or even yesterday morning on trail, and with a lot of PCTers, and now it's just nothing. All right, I'm 8 miles in. It's almost 1 o'clock already. I'm gonna take a short 10-15 minute break to rest my feet because I am aching all over. Grab some water and try to do 5 more miles before I stop for lunch. I always try to do at least halfway before I stop for lunch, and I want to try to hit 25 today, despite such a late start. A lot of people ditched their CNOC or Canuck, I don't know, it's a stupid name for a brand, and I've heard both pronounced. Bladders, which is up top. Mine, if you happen to be zooming in, says Sawyer because they did a co-brand, and then Sawyer's the filter. But I think it's one of the best things to carry around. I usually gravity filter into a Everclear, I think it's called, or Evernew 2-liter bladder as well, but I only need about 1 liter right now, so I have it going straight into my water bottle. But it's the best because I'm chilling right now, so I have my feet elevated just to get the blood flowing back, and I'm eating a snack, and I don't have to do the work of squeezing the water into the bottle like I usually do when I do quick breaks. And I honestly have only seen a handful of people gravity filtering on this trail, and it's like, it is a complete no-brainer to me. Like, it's not even a question for the few ounces of carrying this. Here, let me just show y'all while I'm talking about it. This is it right here. So this unfolds, and this is the Evernew. This holds 2 gallons of water, or 2 liters of water. So this adds to my water capacity. It's so light, it folds up, it packs well because it takes up almost no volume. And when I fill up that all the way on top, I can just attach this to the bottom of the filter, and then I have 2 liters of clean water. So that's like what I do almost every night when I get to my campsite. I'm trying to get in the habit of doing it right away, but I usually do and remember. So by the time I'm done setting up my tent, I have 2 liters of filtered clean water ready to go. And it's so uncommon out here, and it's just the simplest, it's the best weight penalty. I mean, this is like nothing, and that's only a few ounces, and it saves so much effort and time and lets me just chill and relax. About to have yet another climb, I think 500 feet or so in the next 1.5 miles, but it's a really nice little kind of valley or meadow here. Look at how cool the moss in these trees looks, just taken as a whole. They're like in rings. Quite a climb. Not even halfway, not even close. You can see that little valley or meadow that I was mentioning earlier that I walked through that I liked. Man, I don't know what's going on today, but I just had my fourth craving, which is every single time tied to some kind of scent. And it is for good old Kentucky Fried Chicken or Popeyes. All dark meat, greasy fried chicken. Would love some of that right now. I've craved that before, actually. So it's very interesting to think about what might be triggering these associations. Just felt a few raindrops and looked back, and that is looking stormy. I am in a lot of pain right now. My shins are on fire, my plantar fascia hurt. I've got about a mile left to where I want to get to water and post up for lunch. There's also a tent site there, so I might, depending on this weather, have to throw my tent up for a bit. Which is not fun. It's a pain process to set up, but we'll see how this goes. I also feel entirely alone out here, which I don't really mind. But aside from that one dude who like basically ran into me when I was climbing uphill earlier, not seeing a single person all day. It's coming up on 2 o'clock. It's a stark contrast to what I was experiencing the last couple of weeks. So it's odd. I don't really mind, but it is sometimes nice to have a buddy when there's like inclement weather like this. My phone battery's on 6%, whatever that means, because it'll probably just die any second now and actually go down to 1. But it just ran the forecast. It's updating from my current location, but from where I was yesterday, so like where I camped, or where I last checked, about 24 miles back, it's showing rain all afternoon and evening. So, yeah. Gotta see how this one plays out, but I might need to post up for a while to ride the storm or just put on my rain gear and tough it out. Yeah, it's lightly raining right now, and it says, I got the weather update for this location. It says thunderstorm. It says starting at like 4, but it's 2:30 right now. It's already hitting. It says it's going all the way to the end of the projections, which is like 8 p.m., something like that. So it's hard to know how hard it's going to come down, right? Like, if I think it's going to be a crazy storm, I'd want to set up my tent before it really hits hard. If it stays like this, obviously I just keep hiking. These are big drops really starting to come down. I think I'm going to try to set up my tent. I'm just hoping I can get this half mile and get to this tent site and water source in case I need to post up there for a long time, even potentially all night, which I don't want to, but phone's going to die soon. The smell of the forest with a light dusting of rain is really nice. Really, really fresh. It's kind of hard to explain. It's like probably the dust and dirt mixing with all the pine needles and leaves. There's not really leaves, but pine needles on the ground. Well, it had caffeine in it, so that's what did it to me yesterday. Caffeine is a drug, just because it's available everywhere. No different than other ones, just legal, illegal, whatever. And I am highly sensitive to it. And there's a Mio blue bottle that says energy with electrolytes and B vitamins. It's very similar. And I must have grabbed this quickly without seeing that's different. It looks almost the same. And that was awful. I'm never ever having this crap again. Also, you see how it's like leaking in the bag? That's happened to me with 3 of these. They've leaked in the middle, so also a reason I'll never buy this again. I have been using ones all on and off throughout this time. that always never had caffeine, but just for flavoring to mix it up. But this is just trash, how this leaks like this. Okay, at least at the moment, it looks like the storm's passed. It wasn't too bad once I actually got to the water source here. Kind of died down. Definitely some clouds up there still, but I'm gonna keep trekking on. Had a lunch break. Both of my shins are hurting up by the knee bone in the exact same spot. So that's to me, that's a clear indication of overuse from yesterday. So want to take it careful. I got 7-mile water carry. I'm just gonna take a liter, which is not a ton, but I did it yesterday. Now it is a little hotter than it was, or warmer time of day than when I did it yesterday, but I just drank half a liter and I think I'll be okay. So phone, I'm out of power. I have a tiny bit left in one of my 2 power banks, and my phone's, I charged it back up to 40%. So it's gonna be an interesting 24 hours here for that standpoint. The only thing I can really think of as to why it's so quiet, I'm yet to see anybody but that one guy that almost ran into me as I was going uphill, is there was a pack of maybe 10 to 12 people when I left Tahoe, including the 3 guys that I was, I'm friends with, or closer with. I think I'm ahead of all those people, and some of them probably stopped in Truckee. So I kind of pulled ahead of all that group, but probably didn't pull ahead far enough to catch up to presumably all the people that left Tahoe probably like the day before us. That's the only thing I can think of. It's just been so odd. No other hikers, no tents last night. It's just totally private out here, which I'm not minding, like I said, but it's just so noticeable. Just not feeling it right now. A little cranky after lunch. We've got a 800-foot climb up. Then it goes down, then it goes up another 600 feet. I just stopped to put headphones in. Hopefully it'll pick my spirits up. But here's why I'm pissy. I'm just reflecting, like, why after lunch? My back's stinging and itching. Sweating all day with my backpack pressing against it, even though I've been putting on cortisol cream daily. I did not enjoy my lunch. For like the first time in a while, I'm totally sick of mackerel, and it was just nasty. I had 2 little metal, I think I said tin, they're probably aluminum or whatever, containers of them. I could only eat 1. Stomachache. I'm so tired and I couldn't nap because there were mosquitoes around where I stopped. My legs are hurting in multiple places. My shoes suck. They're falling apart after about 450 miles. They're way better than the Topos, but these ones without the Vibram are terrible. I'll never get them again. The Ultra Lone Peak 9 Plus is all I'll go with going forward. These are the Ultra Lone Peak 9. The Plus is what indicates there's Vibram, which is like a certain technology in the soles. So if I tighten my shoes, it helps with the plantar fasciitis I'm feeling in my feet, especially my right foot right now. But then it was hurting on the top of my, kind of like right above where my ankle hits my shin, the top of my feet. So then if I loosen them, that pain goes away, but then it's hurting the plantar fascia. So, and I feel like I'm wearing like flippers or clown feet. It was suggested that I got a size bigger than I've ever worn, and I don't think that was the right move. So I will not be doing that again either. So I'm gonna stick with the 9.5 going forward, which is like a half size bigger than what I normally wear, and I'm only gonna get it with Vibram. And I'm just like I'm just generally fatigued. Like I've had 1 day off in the last 20 days, basically. 2 if you count the Yosemite Valley, but that was so much work getting down there and everything. I had to walk miles just to get groceries. So I have 7 miles to get to water. I'm caring for that. A lot of it's uphill, and I am just not feeling it right now. I'm really beat up from how much I pushed these last 2 days specifically too. Foot is killing me. My right plantar, right where it touches the heel. Every step is like a 6 out of 10 in pain. It's one damn thing after another. I can't even push one day a few extra miles without paying the price. It's a cool ridgeline. You can see it's definitely storming out that way. Probably headed this way. Hopefully I'll miss it. Okay, a suggestion from my amazing father who's been watching all my videos and supporting me on this journey. It is just supporting me like emotionally. I mean, like I've been doing all the resupplies myself and all that kind of stuff, but was to, when I'm doing some of my little monologues, just sharing where my head's at to show more scenery. So I think that's a good suggestion. So anyways, where I stopped for lunch, I saw, or there was a road right next to it. I didn't know until a car went by. It was a dirt road, but actually 3 cars went by during my 45-minute stop for lunch or whatever. But it's like very kind of remote. So like nobody was stopping. They were just driving by. And so when I crossed that road to continue on the PCT, I saw one pronounced set of footsteps on the ground, which to me, it had just rained, indicated it had been only one person pretty much had walked there, maybe 2, because they're kind of on top of each other times since the rain. And the rain was right before I stopped for lunch, and nobody passed me today, except when I was sleeping this morning. But like, I hadn't seen any thru hikers all day. So my conclusion was that the really only logical explanation, because I don't think anyone got on from that dirt road or anything, is that I had almost just caught up to somebody without seeing them when I decided to stop for lunch, and that they must be a ways ahead. And in fact, I just saw a person walking on the trail ahead of me, probably 15-20 minutes along the ridgeline. So curious to see if I know them, but haven't mind the solitude, but I guess it'll be nice to see another thru hiker, at least one, not today. Some cool winds coming in. I don't know if it has anything to do with potential storm. That straight ahead definitely looks like rain, like it's raining over there, a storm. And I think that's the direction I'm generally headed, sort of that way. So I got at the top of this ridgeline. I've got 2.4 miles to get to the next water source. I'd like to do 7 more total to put me around 25, but that's a loose goal because of where water sources and tent sites are. But looking ahead there, that is not looking good at all, weather-wise. So I'm gonna have to monitor this very carefully to make sure to play, but I definitely need to get off this ridge before all this moves in here, which I'm about to do. But yeah, that looks ominous, if not already quite hazardous. The reason I clarified when I said support with my father, what I meant, why I did that is because there are people out here who get varying degrees of support out here. So there's some people who have partners who drive and kind of meet them each way, or come for part of the trail and hike part of the trail with them. Some have parents sending them resupply packages where they just tell them what they want and they'll go to the store and get all the stuff and send them to the post offices on trail, so that saves them a lot of time and effort and energy. Or maybe some people have friends doing it, but some people rely on Trail Angels. Like, I haven't had any of that. It's not to say that I wouldn't if I needed it, and I'm very blessed with a lot of caring people in my life, but I've just decided to do it all on the fly as I go and resupply as I go, in each town, which takes extra time, but that way I'm not worried about logistics of lost. I mean, like Ford logistics, I should say, because obviously when I'm in there in real time, I have to worry about getting a hitch in the grocery store and all that. But I've met multiple people who sent packages that just haven't shown up, and or they were late and they weren't there in time. And also, I just didn't plan this ahead of enough time to have even done that. So that's just what I meant. But I've got about a mile left. See, it's this next water source. My shins and feet and the bottom of my plantar fasciitis, all this stuff are hurting pretty severely, like more than they've been in a while. And it's probably just because of the high level of mileage I've ramped up the last few days. So I am trying to debate what to do here, what I'm going to do tomorrow. Ideally, I would just get into Sierra City tomorrow, do all my town chores, which takes a lot of time with uploading these videos and charging the devices, plus laundry and ideally showering, and then of course getting more food. And then try to get back out on trail, because like I just ran the math during my little lunch break. To get there by October 1st, Canadian border, that's 22 point something small miles a day without any breaks at all. So in my head, I need to be hitting 25 plus a day to afford myself the time to take half days or a day off here and there, which aren't even really days off. It's crazy. But so yeah, I got a lot to figure out and assess. So far the storm's kind of staying away, but we'll see if that lasts. That is quite ominous. There's no other word I can think that would better describe what I'm looking at and about to walk into. Oh, here we go. Coming down from that peak and that ridge line, walking directly into these dark clouds. I mean, they're a ways away, but it looks like we have a date coming up. Can you hear the thunder? I'm debating what to do. I wanted to go 5 more miles. I don't want to get caught in this, but posting up here is just leaving too long of a day ahead of me tomorrow. So I think I gotta move forward, but I'm gonna sit here for a few minutes and my feet are just in so much pain right now. I guess that's what happens when you walk 75 miles in 3 days. And it's not just walking. I mean, this is hiking up and down mountains with 30 to 40 pounds on your back. It takes its toll. I have not seen a single PCT hiker all day or tent set up. I'm pretty sure that's a first. This is day 86. At least every day I have seen another PCT hiker. It's a very odd feeling. I did, after I mentioned this last time, how empty it was, catch up to that person that was in front of me at the footsteps. They were through hiking, but definitely not PCT. And then two like teenage type kids passed that were through hiking in the other direction. That's it. But no PCT hikers. 86 days for that to happen. All the weather today serves as a good reminder. Well, it hasn't been too bad yet, thankfully. I have had to obviously plan different options and contingency plans in case it were to get bad, and always kind of assessing the environment. It's a good reminder that you're not just hiking through and camping, you're surviving. You have to always assess different scenarios and situations, environments, and be prepared to handle them all. And while I don't want it to start raining, at least until I'm in my tent safely, I do enjoy that challenge and that part of being out here. You hear all the people back there. I'm seemingly in the middle of nowhere, but there's a bunch of trucks and a couple adults and a bunch of teenagers. They're making corn on the cob. Sounded amazing. I actually did just walk by what appeared to be a thru-hiker tent that was probably PCT. It's possible I knew him. He looked like this guy I know in Iceman, but I waved. He was eating in his tent. I thought he saw me. He didn't wave back. And I'm just too much on a mission right now. Not in really the most social mood for making new friends, but pretty sure that was a PCT hiker just based on the gear. But it's possible it wasn't. I'll see if I see them potentially tomorrow. That was literally like the first sign of life this whole day, pretty much, outside of those few kind of other people I mentioned. On another ridgeline here, probably have a little under 4 miles at this point to get to a water source, and after that, it's a half a mile more to a tent site that comments say isn't that great. There's a lot of, whether it's forest management or logging, have been going on around there, so a lot of like down trees and wood piles. So ideally, if I find something else after the water source before that, that's good. More like in the forest, I'll take it, but still got a long ways to go here. And it looks like I'm gonna be okay with the storm at the moment, but let me flip this camera. This is beautiful. But dusk is not too far away, and I really hope I can get a better night's sleep than last night. That was pretty rough. I mean, it was largely because I had caffeine in my system. That's what it was. I didn't know at the time it was caffeine, but that was probably the biggest part of it. So hopefully that's cleared out. I think the half-life caffeine is like 6 hours or something like that, so I should be good. I obviously did not consume any more today, but still, my body's hurting. It's been a good day mileage-wise, given I didn't start till 10 a.m. I'll still be hitting about 24, 25 on the day, which I'm happy with, but this wasn't, I mean, it was not an easy day, but the mileage, the terrain wasn't that hard. My body's just so beat up from the last 2 days. It's really feeling it right now. So I actually popped Tylenol and ibuprofen, because when I was done at the last water source and I put my bag on, took the first step, it was just like, it was pretty bad. I haven't taken those in, I don't know, 5 days maybe, which is good. I don't want to be, but I have a new policy, which is I'm doing whatever it takes to get to Canada. So I'm done with all these new peace and love acronyms. Like, no, I'm taking ibuprofen and I'm getting to Canada if I need to. So, yeah. Anyways, catch y'all in a bit, but I wanted to film this very cool part of the trail. Cool to see all the young trees mixed in with the old ones. There's actually a sign that said it was the harvesting of this was done on purpose to make way for young trees to come through, and that all natural kind of seeds were used for the new trees, and it was done in like the early 90s. So like some of these look way more obviously young than that, but either way, very cool to see. This whole walk through here right now smells like butterscotch, which is awesome. I think I mentioned this once before, but the ponderosa pine smells like butterscotch, and I have loved this tree long before I hiked on the PCT. However, on this hike, I've actually learned the name of it. I was once hiking near Idlewild. I actually asked a ranger what was the name of the tree that smelled so good, and they weren't sure. My buddy was there with me. He can corroborate that, but I found out on this trail what it is, and it is so nice. Oh, that's nice. Well, I was about to camp here. I initially had a place flagged that's like half a mile down, but I filled up my water here, and I found a cozy little spot down at the creek bed. But as I was about to just start setting up, I heard someone walking by, and it's the first PCT hiker I've seen all day. It happens to be Rabbit, so really pumped to see him. So I'm gonna go to my initial spot I was considering, which is where he's head to. So I will probably check in once more there, but this is almost the end of day 86. It's been a grind, but hanging in there. Live to fight another day.